Hello and welcome to Essie's Pilates. So this workout is great if you are new to Pilates or if you maybe already know the method but you just want to reconnect with deeper connections. Or if you maybe are experiencing some back pain, I highly recommend you to come back to this workout every now and then to make sure that you find the right connections before you start practicing more intermediate exercises. Okay, so let's get started. So it's a little bit detailed because I am explaining some connections. Don't worry if you don't feel all the connections today or if you don't hear everything the first time. I highly recommend, like I said, coming back and back to the session, and every time you might feel something new or you might hear something new. Okay, let's get started. So let's start with breathing first. When we work out or when we do Pilates, we need to use our breath to find a deeper core connection. We can't breathe through the belly because then we're going to arch through the lower spine again. We want to protect the lower spine by scooping the lower abdominals in and up. I always say think of scooping your lower abdominals in and to the back of your rib cage. All right, and you will see when you do that, so you scoop the stomach in and up to the back of the rib cage, we are literally lengthening the vertebrae of the lower spine. Okay, so let's do our breath. You're going to hold on to the sides of your rib cage and just take a nice deep inhalation through your nose and exhale through the mouth. And really try to exhale all that last bit of air out, 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 out. And notice how your rib cage comes closer at the front. And we breathe in again, expanding the rib cage, and exhale. Think of closing the front of the rib cage like two double doors. That means it's closing at the front, but it's opening at the back. And we're breathing in again. And we exhale. Think of narrowing the sides, closing the front of the rib cage, and use that exhalation to elongate, to lengthen in your own cylinder. So it's like a balloon. You breathe in, you breathe out, but you don't sink in your body. You keep elongating in your own cylinder. Okay, just one last breath like that. Breathing in and breathing out, narrowing the sides of the waistline, bring the front of the ribcage together and just literally feel how you're narrowing the sides of your waistline. It should feel like a corset that's being pulled tighter around your waistline. Okay, all right, from there, I want to leave you with another thought of elongating your spine. So if you can, maybe try to sit on a chair or any place where you have your knees more or less in line with your hips. Then you're going to move right onto the front of your chair or whatever you are sitting on. I've got a box here just to elevate my feet, but you can have your feet, just make sure the knees are more or less in line with your hips. And then placing your hands at the front of the chair, I hinge slightly further forward because I want to grow as tall as possible. So lift your ribcage above your pelvis. Then I'm going to push down with my feet. I'm not going to stand up, but get the thought like you want to stand up. So you're elevating yourself. You're not standing up, but you want to. And just see whether that feeling helps you to connect with your sit bone muscles, your bum. And relax. Okay? Let's do that 2 more times. Maybe you can just take your arms out in front of you. You're going to hinge slightly further forward. Remember, you keep your abdominals scooped in and up. You keep the front of your ribcage closed. So you're hinging slightly forward onto your chair. You press through your feet, lift your arches, and you want to stand up, but you're not going to stand up. All right? Can you feel your sit bone muscles maybe there? Can you feel how the crown of the head is reaching up, like you want to stand up, but your bum is holding you down? So it's a little bit of a tuck with that pelvis. And relax. Let's try that one last time. This time, really make sure that your feet are connected on all 3 corners of your feet. You're lifting those arches a little bit. Knees are in line with your second and your third toe. Inhale to prepare. hinge slightly forward, grow as tall as possible. As you exhale, you press through your feet like you want to stand up. You reach the crown of the head up like you want to stand up, but you're not standing up. Scoop your belly in and up. Take a breather there. As you exhale, can you grow even taller? Pull the front of your ribcage in. Feel all those connections. Feel how you're literally lengthening in your own cylinder and relax. Okay, you will also feel some back muscles working there. Okay, then from here, keeping that in mind, let's lie onto our back. So, we're lying onto the back. I've got a pillow behind my head. If you don't have a pillow, you can also fold a towel and place the towel behind your head. Because you will feel when you don't have that pillow or the towel, we might be jerking the chin up here. So we want to really stretch out the back of your neck, placing the pillow or the towel behind your head. I'm going to use the towel. Okay, neck is nice and long. We're going to focus on the pelvis positioning here. Take your hands like a triangle. Your index fingers are on your pubic bone. Your palms are on your hip bones. Tuck your pelvis, pull your pubic bone up towards your belly button. And then untuck it, almost arching it, like you're pulling your pubic bone down towards your heels. And just rock that pelvis forwards and backwards a few times. Imagine there's a marble. And you're rolling that marble towards your heels. And then you want to roll that marble towards your belly button. All right? When you roll the marble towards your belly button, can you feel how you're almost lifting your tailbone off from the mat? You're almost jamming your lower back into the mat. Then, when you roll that marble towards your heels, can you feel how you're arching your lower spine now? So your lower spine is moving away from the mat. Let's find somewhere in between. So just somewhere in between, that means your pubic bone is now in line with your hip bones. Okay? That marble should just balance there at your lower abdominals. Okay, now I'm adding a few more connections here. Your feet are further away from your heels, but your feet are still flat onto the mat. You want to press your heels down into the floor. Without moving those heels, pull it towards your sit bones and your sit bones towards your heels. And I can feel those bottom glute muscles being activated there. So just see whether you can feel that. What also helps me is usually pushing my heels down into the mat and think of my shins reaching forward while I'm pulling my seat, my tailbone and seat muscles towards my heels. So we've got a long tailbone and still keeping that neutral pelvis. All right. While we keep that neutral pelvis, let's focus on our breathing again. Breathing in. Expanding the back of the rib cage, breathing out, narrowing the sides of the waistline. Breathing in again. And as you breathe out, think of your lower abdominals pulling in towards the back of your rib cage. That will help you to narrow the sides of your waistline. With the next inhalation, can you keep your rib cage in? So we breathe in. You breathe out, sink your belly down towards your spine and put it to the back of your rib cage. So we're literally massaging that spine out long. Next inhalation, keep your activation, breathing in. So can we breathe in without bulging the rib cage? And exhale, scoop your belly in and zip it to the back of your rib cage. To help with that ribcage connection, you can take your arms and really press your back arm down into the mat. And because I'm pressing my arms now down, I find it easier to connect with the back of my ribcage down into the mat. So that's a lot to think about. It's heels to buttocks, buttocks to heels, neutral pelvis, ribcage down and in at the front, allowing you to open up the back of your ribcage. Back upper arms pressing into that mat, so that you can feel both shoulder blades flush onto the mat. Neck nice and long. All right, now from here, I'm going to challenge you. We breathe in. You breathe out, sink your belly in, pull it to the back of your rib cage. Feel how you sink the front of your rib cage. And you're going to try to float your one leg up into tabletop. When you float that leg up, can you still keep your glute down onto the mat so we're not lifting that hip up? You press that leg back down onto the floor. And stabilize with that leg. Float your other leg back up into tabletop. And just play around with this. Inhale, zip your belly in, place that leg down. And exhale, float the other one up. Inhale, zip your belly in to press that leg down. Exhale, wrap with your rib cage to float the other leg up. So you first connect with your center before you move that leg. So just keep on moving while I talk. Inhale and exhale. Pull the leg back up. You try to alternate from side to side without wiggling your hips. So keeping your neutral pelvis. Also note how much you need to press with the back arms into the mat. And feel how you can elongate the back of your neck. So you're pressing with the back of your head also into your pillow or your towel. And I can still really feel my sit bone muscles working here. All right. If you find this easy, you can float the one leg up. You try to really zip in those abdominals and exhale, switch the legs in mid-air. And switch the legs in mid-air. And then eventually, you just keep zipping your abdominals in and up. And your connection is so strong now that your breath is no longer affecting your connections. So you can breathe in or out here, whatever is easy for you, but you try to keep the pelvis as stable as possible. Whew, and I can really feel my core here. If you feel you start arching your lower back, go back to the normal leg swaps where the one leg is down, floating the other leg up. Other leg first down, stabilize, before you mobilize with the other side. All right, but if you feel you want a bit of a challenge here, you switch in mid-air. When I lift both legs up, I really need to press with my upper back muscles into the mat to prevent my lower spine from arching too much. All right, now from here, bring both legs together. Press the arms a little bit deeper into the mat. We're going to do some leg slides. I want you to think your abdominals is pulling down and up to the back of your rib cage. Then your legs are sliding slightly further forward, only as far as where you can keep those abdominals zipped up. You vacuum pack your rib cage to pull the legs back in. Let's try 3 more. In, zip, hail, reach your legs forward. X, vacuum cap your rib cage. Hail, bring back in. 2 more. In, hail, reach those legs back forward. X, hail to pull the legs back in. And last one here. And exhale. So you only move your legs as far as where you can prevent your lower spine from lifting too high up from the mat. Okay, quickly hug your knees in towards your chest. From here, let's go into our ab reps. So you pull your legs in towards your chest. Think of your hamstrings pushing forward. Lengthen your neck. That's your inhalation, lift your head. Exhale, close the front of your rib cage to curl onto the bottom tip of your shoulder blades. Note, I'm not crunching up. I've got a long spine, so I'm still pulling my abdominals in and to the back of my rib cage. All right, from here, feel how the hamstrings are pulling forward, pushing into your hands into your hamstrings, while I'm scooping my abdominals in and to the back of my rib cage. So we're working in opposition here. And lower all the way back down. We go again. Inhale, elongate your neck, lift your head. Exhale, press the legs forward to curl up onto the bottom tip of your shoulder blades. Press your legs further forward, scoop your stomach deeper in and up towards you. So stomach in and up towards you, legs forward away from you. Make sure your shoulders are still connected into your back so you're not shrugging your shoulders up. Release the tension in your shoulders and lower all the way back down. So that's basically your ab rep. We're going to go again. Inhale, lengthen the neck. Exhale, push those legs forward. Sink the front of your rib cage. Once again, the front of the rib cage are like double doors closing at the front. If you found that your previous leg taps and leg slides are doable for you, let's try it in this position. So now your upper body is up. You can no longer support with your upper body. So now you really need to press that lower spine down into the mat. Whatever is touching your mat, you need to engage with. You take your one leg forward. Maybe both legs are just down. You float the one leg up. Press that leg back down. Stabilize before you mobilize the other leg. So normal, leg taps, okay? See that your pelvis is nice and stable and nice and neutral here. So sit bones are still down onto the mat, but I really scoop my abdominals in and up. If you find this easy, you can switch in mid-air. If you feel this in your neck, you can even take your hands behind your head, or you can just press gently into the mat. And then from there, bring both legs together, squeeze those legs together, float your arms up. You slide your thighs away from your abdominals while you scoop your abdominals deeper in and up towards you. Exhale, pull back in. Let's go for 3 more. Slide away from you while you scoop your abdominals deeper in and up and away from you. Sorry, hamstrings away from you, abdominals in and up towards you. And pull back in. And last one. Hold with those lower abdominals and pull back in and relax down. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to add the arms here again. So, pushing forward with your hamstrings to lift the upper body just off from the mat. Sink the abdominals very deeply in so that you are stabilizing now with your lower back. Your sit bones are still down onto the mat. From here, if you feel your back, you're welcome to lower your legs down onto the mat. It helps with a deeper connection. If you want to challenge yourself, you float your legs up into tabletop. Float your arms up towards the sky, okay? You press those arms down, 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 scoop your stomach deeper. Hold that scoop as you float your arms up, up, up. Can you see how I pull my ribcage and abdominals deeper to hold the weight of my arms? Exhale, press back down. 2 more like this. Inhale, float up, pull the ribcage in, pull the abdominals deeper. Exhale. Last one. And exhale. And lower back down. And that's going to bring us to our next exercise, the hundreds. All right, so once again. Inhale to prepare, lift the head. Exhale, push the hamstrings forward. Hamstrings go forward, sit bones are down. You scoop your belly in and up so that you can connect that lower spine into the mat. You curl just from the bottom of your shoulder blades, so don't come up too high. We want a flat, deep stomach. You reach your arms forward. You're going to start pumping those arms up and down. You breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out. Maybe you can only breathe in for 3 counts and out for 3 counts. That's okay, but keep on going, and eventually if you practice this enough, you will be able to breathe in for 5 counts and out for 5 counts. When you breathe in, try not to bulge your stomach. So think once again, zipping in and up when you breathe in. And when you breathe out, sink the front of your ribcage deeper, but keep reaching further forward with your fingertips. We go for 1 last breath, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, all the last bit of air out, reach slightly further forward while you zip deep in opposition and lower down. Whew, that's a lot of core. Okay, now from here, let's go to our shoulder bridges. So for this next one, you can slide the pillow away from your head. We're going to find that same stabilization in the upper back arms. So feel how you press those triceps into the mat, sliding your shoulder blades underneath your back. That's a strong connection for your upper body. Now you're going to slide your heels closer towards your buttocks. You reach your fingertips towards your heels, heels towards your fingertips. Legs are nice and parallel. I'm pressing through all 3 corners of my feet. Lift your arches a little bit. Inhale, feel your seat. Exhale, use your seat to tuck the tailbone under. Once you've found that tuck, keep tucking and lift your pelvis up into full hip extension. But please note that I'm not bulging my rib cage. As soon as I bulge my rib cage, I'm going to hyperextend my lower back again. So, vacuum back the front of the rib cage, narrow the sides of your waistline, and you will feel that you're using your upper back muscles to stabilize onto the mat. Note where your head is in place. You slide the back of your neck nice and long. We stay there. Pressing through the arms. Keep tucking that pelvis. Here, your pubic bone is higher than your hip bones, but your belly button is still zipped in and to the back of your rib cage. Then from there, keep reaching your knees forward, crown of the head to the back, in between, roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Whew, nice lengthened spine there. Relax your tailbone. Okay, just 2 more like this. Inhale, press through all three corners of your feet, lift those arches. Feel your seat already here, and from your bum muscles, you lift up into full hip extension. Take a moment to check your posture here. Belly button in and up. Vacuum pack the front of your rib cage, and that will give you a little bit more of that tuck. I always say pubic bone up towards your rib cage, sit bones down towards your knees, stabilizing with your upper back muscles and triceps. Maybe you can push slightly more down with your arms to lift your hips higher, but make sure that lift is coming from your glutes and not the ribcage bulging, so keep the front of the ribcage closed. Inhale. As you exhale, vacuum back a little bit more. Feel how you lengthen the knees further away from the crown of the head. You can take another inhalation here. As you exhale, sink your breastbone, sink the top of your rib cage, sink the middle spine, sink the lower spine, and get that last bit of spine down, and then your tailbone. Last one. Inhale, prepare, find all the connections from your seat. You lift up into full hip extension, flat palms pressing onto the mat. Open up your chest a little bit more. Maybe you can stretch yourself a little bit taller here by vacuum packing your rib cage, stretching the crown of the head further away from your knees. And make sure those knees are staying parallel here for now. Check your hips. Is the one hip maybe dropping? That means you need to use that glute a little bit more. Are your legs maybe the one flopping out? Hug the midline of your body here. So as if those legs are hugging in towards one another. Keep tucking, lift your pelvis but sink your rib cage, and roll down. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Ooh, I had a good click there in my spine. Release. All right, quickly hug the knees in towards your chest. And then from here, you can use those hamstrings, push them forward to lift your head up, scoop your stomach deeper, and press yourself all the way up into seated. Let's see how it goes in prone position. So for prone, we're going to lie on our stomach. And this is hard because suddenly we are no longer supine lying on our back. So how do we find all the same connections? You're going to lengthen your feet out, so you stretch your feet away from you. You stretch your your chest further away from you. And you can stack your hands on top of one another. Rest the forehead onto your hands. Then, think of lifting your belly button in and up towards the back of your rib cage. What's going to happen? You're going to literally lengthen your lower spine, and you will press your pubic bone a little bit more into the mat. But you're going to feel how your sit bones are reaching down towards your heels. Keep that position. Inhale. As you exhale, press down into your hands. Reach your chest forward, your nose forward. And you're going to feel that you can lift up the chest just off from the mat. Take a moment there to feel how your feet are lengthening away to the back, but the crown of the head is reaching forward. Make sure that you're not jerking your chin here, so imagine you still have that pillow behind your neck. Slide your shoulder blades a little bit more down into your side, allowing you to reach your chest further forward. If you feel you're sinking your lower back, keep reaching your sit bones down towards your heels. See maybe if you can lift your lowest rib away from the mat. Keep lifting the rib cage in and up. You lower back down. Okay, one more. Inhale, find all your connections. Sit bones down towards your heels, belly button in and up. As you exhale, press down with your arms. Reach your chest forward, forward, forward. Lifting it just off from the mat. And lower all the way back down. For the next one, let's try to bring our hands with our forehead. So rest down. Inhale, sit bones down towards your heels. Zip your abdominals in and up. That's usually pubic bone towards your rib cage. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, press your hands into your forehead and your forehead into your hands and float your arms and your hands just off from the mat. Now, this is hard work. Make sure your shoulder blades are still sliding down into your side while you reach your chest slightly further forward, but you keep tilting your sit bones down towards your heels. Focus more on length and don't worry about the height here. And lower back down. One last one. Inhale, sit bones down towards your heels. And exhale, press your hands into your head into your hands. Maybe your eye gaze can slide slightly higher up against your mat. Shoulders more down into your side. We stay there, really press those hands in towards your forehead and lower back down. All right, that's a lot of back muscles working. So always come back into a rounded spine just to stretch out the lower back. Okay, then from here, I'm going to add one last one in prone. So we lie back onto our stomach, but you're going to place your hands right next to your side here. You still lengthen the lower back by reaching your sit bones down towards your heels. Palms flat onto the mat. Rest onto your one cheek. Inhale, find your connections. Exhale, slide your shoulder blades towards one another and down towards your tailbone. Bring your head to the center and you're going to feel how you can work those back muscles, and because of the shoulder blades coming together and down, that's lifting your chest off from the mat. While you're there, just keep reaching longer in opposition. Then you can flip your thumbs up towards the sky. You can maybe even widen your arms a little bit more. But make sure that you're not sinking in your lower spine. So keep focusing on length instead of height. Maybe rotate the thumbs a little bit more up. Can you feel those upper back muscles? And lower back down, lowering down onto your opposite cheek. One last one. Inhale, find your connections, zipping up at the front, pubic bone up towards your rib cage, sit bones down towards your heels. Exhale, rotate shoulder blades towards one another and down towards your hips. Turn your head, looking to the center, soft elbows. Flip your thumbs further up towards the sky and pull yourself taller and taller while you hold with your center. The crown of the head is reaching forward just as much as your toes are reaching back. And exhale, lower back down. Press yourself back into a shell stretch. We stay there for one more breath. Okay, and then from here, let's go into a quick racer. So, you've got your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Take a moment to feel how you can pull your knees towards your elbows towards your knees, or wrists towards your knees, and knees towards your wrists. Nice and active fingers, tuck your toes. Hug the midline of your body. So just feel, even though your legs are apart, just feel how you pull the inner thighs towards one another. Inhale, exhale, with your lower abdominals and rib cage, lift the knees 2 centimeters away from the mat. Now think of the mat when we were lying supine on our backs. You had the pillow behind your head. You had your sit bones down onto that mat. You've got your belly scooped in and up. The front of the rib cage pulling in and up towards the back. Same connections here. And lower back down. Whew. 2 more. Inhale, you prepare, find all your connections. Shoulder blades down into your back. And exhale, lift the knees 2 centimeters away. I'm adding something here. Imagine there's a wall behind you and you want to press your heels against that wall, but at the same time reach your knees further forward. Whew, it's going to help you with more of a seat connection there. And lower back down. One last one, okay? If you feel you're sinking too much into your lower spine, remember to pull your sit bones, upper glute muscles slightly further down. Pubic bone up towards your rib cage. One last one. Inhale, shoulders down at your side like you are lying with your back onto that mat. Exhale, lift up. Make sure your elbows are not locked, but they're soft. Heels against your imaginary wall, knees reaching forward, zip up at the front. Keep elongating your spine. Last breath here. As you exhale, vacuum back your torso, grow taller in your own cylinder, and lower back down. Whew, that's a lot of work. Okay, quickly press back into your shell stretch. You can even take your hands behind you. And we stay there for one breath. And then we're going to do one last exercise. So for this next one, we were in supine. We had all our connections here, shoulder blades flush. We were in prone position, finding those same connections, so lying on your stomach. And then we were now on our all fours. Now we want to go onto our side, still finding those same connections. But it's more difficult on our side. So imagine, even though you're lying on your side, imagine that your hips are both connected to your mat behind you. Your shoulder blades are still stacked on top of one another, also connected into your mat behind you. So shoulder blades are stacked, hips are stacked. You will find a lot of times this top hip wants to pull in towards your rib cage. So your knees are bent. Think of this top hip moving down towards your heels. So the hip is moving away from the rib cage, and you automatically will find that lift in your bottom side. So a little mouse house here underneath your side. That's vacuum packing your torso, narrowing the sides of your waistline. It's all the same thing. Okay, top hand in front of you for some support. You're going to lift your bottom shins up, but don't sink into that hip. So keep reaching your top hip towards your heel. Squeeze your heels together. Feel your lower abdominals. And you're going to clamp the top leg open, only as far as where you can go without throwing the top hip to the back. As you press that leg down, let it hover. You press it open, keep your chest nice and open, and exhale, press it down. Keep on going, and make sure your entire torso is still long. You're still narrowing the sides of your waistline, and you're really squeezing those heels together. So keep holding onto a tiny little diamond in between your heels. As you're going to lift up, hold it there, squeeze the heels more together, and see if you can lift a little bit higher. Little pulses up. Press the legs down, let it hover. Inner thighs you want to feel here. And then lift back up. Feel the back of your glutes there. And lower back down. Last 3. And press back down. And last 2. Be careful not to start shrugging in your shoulders. So keep your chest nice and open, like you are having your shoulder blades against the mat behind you. Last one, open up, hold it there, press that bottom heel even more into the top, and lower all the way back down. Whew. And you should be feeling your glutes there. Okay, quickly swing over to the other side, almost done. Find your connections, shoulder blades stacked, hips are stacked. Imagine there's a glass wall in front of you and behind you. Literally, your mat in front of you or behind you. Hips are stacked. And nice and open chest. Find your little mouse house by moving the top hip further down. You lift your bottom shins up. Flex your feet. And squeeze those heels together as you climb open. And press back down. Use your breath. Always keep on breathing because the breath will help you to vacuum pack that torso. The only way to keep that hip from rolling to the back is to engage your torso muscles. And by working these muscles, we will keep our hips stable as we walk. We will have more balance. And lift up, and press back down. And keep focusing on your lengthening in opposition. Really squeeze those heels together. And then we're going to go for 2 more here. Let's make it 3. And press back down. Last 2. Remember to hover there. And lifting back up, squeeze together. And bring back down. And then we need to do those pulses. So lift back up, hold it there. Little pulses up. Whew. And lower back down. All right. Then quickly just roll onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Hug your right leg into your chest, really extend that left leg away. Take a breather. With every single breath, just feel how you can get both shoulders flush onto the mat, both hips flush onto the mat. And same thing on the other side. Breathing in and breathing out. All right. And you can rock yourself up into seated. If you have back pain, you can always roll onto your side and push yourself back up. Okay. All right, that's it for today. Practice this one a few times until you really feel that you've got control of your lower back. You take note where your shoulders and your hips are in place as well as your head. And once you've got that, then you can start experimenting a little bit more. Thank you so much for joining me.